Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nura Adila binti Farizal and I am from AS1202B and for course code Bio 150. In this video, I would like to present about a case study with the title of G6PD deficiency. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So introductions of G6PD. G6PD deficiency is inherited. It is happen when the body does have enough G6PD that call of glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase, and G6PD deficiency occur more often to men but rarely to women. G6PD gene making instructions to produce enzymes that called glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase, and this enzyme help red blood cells work correctly. What means of correctly, which is this enzyme help to protect red blood cell from the damage and premature destruction. Also protect them from molecules that can harm, such as reactive oxygen species. Without not enough G6PD to protect red blood cells, it will hemolyze. How it become hemolyzed? Because the red blood cells are not protected carefully, are not protected fully by the G6PD, and it will be end up hemolysis. Lack of this enzyme can cause of hemolytic anemia. So what is that? The hemolytic anemia. Hemolytic anemia will happen when the red blood cells are destroyed faster than the body replace them. Symptoms of hemolytic anemia is such as like a pale skin, yellowing of the skin, eye smarts, dark color urines, increased heart rate, and also we can say that like dizziness, weakness or fever. And then there are two types of hemolytic anemia, is inherited and acquired. What is the difference between the inherited and acquired? Inheritance happen when the parent pass the genes to their children, and for example happen in the inherited, which is cause of this type of anemia is just like a sickle cells anemia and also the thalassemia. And second one, we have accurate. What is mean of accurate? When happen accurate? Accurate happens when a person's body produces normal red blood cells, but later on it will destroy, such as blood cancer or certain infections and maybe certain tumor. So we have here is state that problem statement. What is effect when decrease of enzyme glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase in human body? From the based on the situation that are given from the task, the situation just like mentioned that a baby look pale, yellowish skin color and produce a rapid heart rate due to having a hemolytic anemia. So these types of anemia is inherited. Why I say that is this anemia is inherited? Because it's a parent pass the genes for the condition to their son. As a parent, before that, what I said is inherited anemia, because a son inherited his X chromosome from his mother, and a son also who is a G6PD deficient inherited his condition from his mother. So as a parents who have a child with the G6PD deficiency, or maybe both of parents have a G6PD deficiency, they need to know what is the food ingredients and drug that individual having G6PD should avoid from taking them. For example, I would like to say that example for food is just farbavin. Farbavin is not good, or maybe let's say that I should say that we should people with having the G6PD deficiency should avoid from taking farbavin, especially because in farbavin they have the increased reactive oxygens, which will harm their red blood cells. for the GCSPD persons. And for the farbabine, it can trigger hemolytic attack. Example drug is antibiotic referred to as sulfa. Sulfa is used to treat skin or urinary tract infections. So, for the discussion too, the question is, what is the role of enzyme glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase in normal metabolism? So, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase is a play important role in the hazardous monophosphates or produce pentoshans, which is essential for the normal energy in erythrocyte. Reduce a form of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate with the short form of NADPH are generated by the G6PD. Glutathione in the reduced form are maintained by the G6PD to protect cells from the oxidative damage. So the next one, we have a discussion 3. Compare the metabolic pathway between the presence of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase and the absence of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. So, the presence of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, red blood cells are fully protected by the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme that has glutathione. Inside the G6PD, or let's say the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme, we have a glutathione that functions as to protect the red blood cell from the harmful molecules such as the reactive oxygen species. So, when I said that it's a protected to protect the red blood cell, it means that when it comes to the absence of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, it can cause harmful to red blood cell due to lack of a glutathione that function as to fight free radicals such as the reactive oxygen species. So here we can see the difference between the presence of a G6PD and absence of G6PD enzyme in the metabolic pathway. So the last one, we have a conclusions. If a mutation in the G6PD genes reduce the amount of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase or alter or change the shapes, and maybe this enzyme can no longer play its protective roles, because the main of the I said that the main of the role of the G6PD enzyme is to protect our red blood cell from the harmfuls, and when a situation when the shapes are when the G6PD they alter the shape or structure, maybe it can no longer use for longer times of as its protective role. As a result, a reactive oxygen species can damage the red blood cells. Factors such as infections of certain drugs or injustice of farbabine, like I said before, that farbabine is a contain higher reactive oxygen that can increase the level of reactive oxygen species. G6PD deficiency is a link to the G6PD status of each parent and gender of the child. Okay, let's say that G6PD is also when parents have G6PD deficiency, we also can see the I say that when they have children or child, it will determine by the gender also. So, and the last one, we have the reference. So here we have six reference that I have go through for the to find any information from there. So that's all from me. Thank you.